So I'm looking at these college football playoff rankings as they're being unveiled last night. And this makes no sense to me. So, as I recall that my lighting screwed up. But anyway, that I personally, wherever I've got Miami at this point, it's about 3 spots higher than the committee, but would have had for quite some time, the entirety of the season. Miami ranked ahead of Utah. Okay. Have had Miami ranked ahead of Utah, comfortably ahead of Utah. They've had Utah ahead of Miami. And then, so that has been their stance. Now, based on what happened last weekend, I think they had no business jumping Miami over Utah. I believe that should have already been the case. Now, how that committee could look at the results of those two games and determine that beating Virginia Tech by 17 points was that much and that much of a conclusive win versus Utah beating Kansas State by 4 points. Like I would have more respect for this committee if they came out and said, you know what, we've looked back upon previous decisions and previous iterations of our rankings and we've made some adjustments and looked, deeper into things and made some corrections. I would have more respect for them if they did that rather than just kind of trying to slide things here and there to make up for mistakes previously.
Again, this is the singular coordinated effort against the University of Miami. I know that we lost 2 games and gave them the opportunity to really lean into this, but it could not be more clear. When Hunter Yurchek came on and said the bullshit about, well, Miami is the team who's moved up the most in the rankings since we've started, so you guys had to be happy with that. They've only moved up because you underranked us by 10 spots to begin with. And then, and it's actually funny, somebody looked it up. In 1, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of 13 instances through the rankings of the college football playoff, sum total till now, of teams who played head-to-head. The team who won the game is ranked higher than the team who lost that game in every instance and chance except for Miami and Notre Dame. It is categorical. It is undeniable. And honestly, it is malpractice. Like it is beyond crazy. And I agree with you. Miami should have been in front of Utah. I told y'all that Utah was a meat shield, was a red coat from Star Trek, just being there to be a block in between, to create this separation in this narrative that's not factual. It's just not. And, the real thing that put me past my breaking point is last week, Reese Davis asked Hunter Yurchek directly and said, Oklahoma beat Alabama head-to-head. Oklahoma is ranked 2 places in front of Alabama because of that head-to-head victory. So when the head-to-head comparison comes between Notre Dame and Miami, that is the precedent you're setting, and you will have the same ordering with respect to Notre Dame and Miami, correct? And he said yes. And then that motherfucker got out here and said, oh, well, there were other teams in the group, and then it's Miami versus Oklahoma versus Alabama versus da-da-da-da. Fuck this shit. Honestly. I'm done. Whatever. I'm sorry that I'm cursing. They have made very clear that there is no way that Miami is making it into the college football playoffs. Period. Win or lose, anything. Well, absent winning the ACC championship game, which there's only like a 8.5% chance that we even get there or something like that. Or I think it's like 14, 15, 16, somewhere in there. But it's less than 20% chance that we even get to the ACC championship game. I am not, to a statement that you said, you're trying to make sense, whatever, just that phrase. I'm not trying to make sense out of nonsense anymore. I'm not going to sit here and try to create a narrative for the committee being truthful, honest, and respectful in terms of rating and placing Miami. It's not going to happen. They have shown it to us from day the first up until now. It was absolute malpractice to have Miami in 18 in the first rankings. I know that we've lost 2 games. And I know, if you don't want to be here, the fact is losses are terminal for Miami and not for other teams. We beat Notre Dame. We should be ranked ahead of them. I'm not even saying Notre Dame shouldn't have a place somewhere in the playoff. But if it's going to be one team, it's Miami, who won the game. And everything that they're doing is talking around that. Oh, well, the quality of Notre Dame's losses. Motherfucker, we beat them. So they're getting more credit for losing to us than we are getting. I'm going to stop cursing. I apologize. I'm infuriated. I am beyond angry. I am done. I'm going to watch this game on Saturday at noon. I'm going to dual screen it because Michigan plays at home against the team from the state south of Michigan. And I'm going to enjoy what happens. I want Miami to win. I picked Miami to win by a touchdown to 10 points. I believe that we're going to end this season 10-2, 6-2 in the conference. We're not going to make the ACC championship game. Our season is done. And I'm not going to sit here and try to create this fictional world where the committee does anything other than screw Miami out of a place. And again, there are other teams, right? But there are other teams that are placed above Miami that I don't necessarily think should be and will be in the end. It has become very clear to me what they're going to do. And it's not even what they're going to do. It's what they have been doing. And they're going to complete the task they've set out to do from inception. When you watch games all across the landscape of college football, no matter the outlet, no matter the parent company, every single one downplays Miami. Even for a game where we doubled up Virginia Tech, ESPN even said, escaped a scare. We led the last 42 and a half minutes of that game by double-digit points. What are you talking about? Escaped a scare. It was never closer than 10, bro. What are you talking about? But that's the narrative push. When it was 15-10 Notre Dame going into the fourth quarter at Boston College, one of the worst teams in captivity a couple weeks ago, and we're screaming about it and said, here you go, watching somebody else's game and talking about it. Where was that in terms of the evaluation? But it was a game control and everything. It's infuriating. We should not have lost the games that we lost, especially to the mid-ass group known as the Louisville Cardinals. That is a terrible performance, right? And it ended up with losing a game. It's not a bad loss. You know what a bad loss is? Losing to Florida State this year. But that's a week 1 game, so we don't want to talk about that, right? It's just, I am past my wit's end. Again, I apologize for all of the foul language, but that's the measure of my emotion. I'm going to stop right there. I've said everything I need to say. I'm done.
Yeah, I've always considered will they have better losses than them when you're talking about 2 teams that played each other and you're speaking negatively about the team that won the game as being a complete oxymoron statement. That if you're calling that an excellent loss, if you're giving credit to one team for having a good loss and comparing them directly to the team that beat them, well, then that is said team that you're saying that was a good loss to.
Right. This is us trying to apply actual logic to things. The College Football Playoff Committee does not care. They speak in contradictions. Every sentence contradicts the previous one. And again, the outright lies. Like, you can go back and look at the broadcast from the 18th. When Reese Davis asked Hunter Yurachek, okay, Oklahoma, Alabama, This is what we're doing with teams who beat other teams, right? So when Miami and Alabama or Miami and Notre Dame are in the same group, and again, you place these teams in the groups, and you're the ones who say that we cannot compare them because they're in a different competitive. Blah, blah, blah. But when that happens and they move up, you're going to place them above the team that they beat, right? And he said, absolutely, this is what we're doing. This is how we value things. And then when it happened, no. Also saying Oregon gets full credit for beating number 5 or whatever, 4 Penn State at peak optimization, right? And then other teams who beat teams who have fired their coaches, oh, well, that doesn't count. What are we talking about?